You're listening to Turi Writers' She Said What podcast. I'm Turi, along with Marcy Persky. This is the installment in which Marcy offers to fix Chicago's misbehaving youth problem with a really large van. It's about as bad as it sounds. Also, some good news. We're on YouTube now, so you can listen while you're pretending to look at your computer doing work. Apparently, I haven't seen what it is, but in New York City, they have like some AI robot police officer. New York has some weird policing stuff going on. But here in Chicago, where we're having a little difficulty with the teenagers misbehaving downtown.
I sent them a message, and they're all grounded, by the way.
You know, I am not doing a political show, but it's interesting when you live in a giant city. Everybody who knows you live there, when something happens, sends you a, look what happened in your city.
Your city can't control its kids.
Your city is falling apart. Your city is a hellhole. Your city is, okay, it's a freaking city. I know that it's
a big city.
It's a big city, and I understand, and it should be safe for everybody everywhere. I get that. But do you honestly think...
Death to children.
Death to children, right. Oh, my God. Why do people feel compelled to point out? I mean, I don't send people who live in rural Arkansas things about, there's a big Walmart shooting in Arkansas. Like, I know. I saw it on the news. Do they think that I'm just so busy, like, defending myself on a daily basis that I
don't know what's happening?
I would miss a conflagration? No. Outside my door, you have to understand, is a total battle zone. Everything about my life. Here's the other thing. If it's really a hellhole, why am I here? I'm not stapled to the carpet. I can leave.
Maybe you're in hell.
Yeah, I just didn't know.
Purgatory or whatever. I don't really know because I didn't really ever read that second part of the Bible, but we could be stuck somewhere. I don't know.
This could be the waiting room. Yes.
Yep.
What is the point of sending?
I think it's na. You live there and I don't. Na. Our kids are well behaved. Your kids are scummy.
Yeah, I know your kids, because not yours. I mean, I grew up in the beautiful North Shore of Chicago. And I know all kinds of kids who did all kinds of stuff, including me, by the way. I was absolutely no angel. I was a serious shoplifter is what I was.
I was a journalist and covered all kinds of nasty stuff in the North Shore of Chicago.
Yeah. I mean,
involving kids.
Kids in beautiful mansions where parents would go away for months.
Yeah, I think that the difference between then and now is social media. You know, somebody puts something up on social media and says, go to blah, 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 and 1,000 of them show up.
Yeah.
They just go... They have nothing better to do on the weekend.
Well, okay. So here's my get off my lawn for today.
Yeah.
I've heard 3 different people, some elected, some running nonprofits, some talk show hosts, talk about how we just need, meaningful work for these kids to do. And today I walked in to buy a new pool pass at my city park pool, and they said, well, you can't really buy a 3-month pass because we're closing down in 2 weeks because we can't hire enough lifeguards to keep the indoor and the outdoor pools open again this summer.
Chicago parents, your kids need to work.
Yeah, there you go. That's my main message. If your kids have enough time to go downtown and rip stuff apart, then your kids can get a job being a lifeguard at my pool so that old get off my lawn Turi can swim her little cellulite laden laps. That's what I say.
Well, what are you going to do with your pool gone? Are you going to build a lap pool in your basement?
Last year, back to killing all the kids again?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm for it.
There's a corner pool, basically the little outdoor plunge pool. It's just as long. Yeah. It's not as wide. And it's used by the day camp kids who rip it all apart and leave garbage everywhere, including the city-provided lunches. Get off my lawn. Yeah. And it's got a festival of lifeguards hanging around on their phones and it's not in the greatest shape. And by way of amusement, since the day camp kids clearly don't have a city day camp kids. Remember, I live in hell. Hell, I tell you.
Yes.
The city park day camp kids are entertaining themselves by ripping the shower heads out and clogging up the
nice.
drains. Yeah, it's lovely.
It's lovely.
It's fantastic. It's a joyful place to spend a few hours during the lap swim.
Well, Frankie built a house out here in Droughtland for 3 old sisters from California that hate each other. And
What?
this house, yeah, they didn't get along at all. And they're sisters, and they're from California, and of course they want to move to Williams, Arizona. But this house has a lap pool in it.
I know people
in the desert.
Yeah,
I just think that's weird.
they like to swim. I don't
They're
think
gonna
it's
drown
weird.
each other.
No, well,
But-
they might.
well-
That'd be a pretty good reason to build a lap pool if you had to live with people you hated. Whoops. Not that I would ever do anything like that. My criminal career stopped at shoplifting and did not progress as far as murder. Yeah, no, I'm going to be swimming at the city park at the corner where it was so bad. I got out of the pool one day and I said to the 4 lifeguards hanging around on their phones, "Would you like me to help you pick up some of this trash here on the pool deck?"
I will be there in just a few weeks. I could take care of some of these kids that we want to.
What are you going to do? Hit them with your bejeweled water bottle? What are you going to do with these?
No. Yesterday, Frankie drives all week, right? So on the weekend, he never wants to go anywhere, and it drives me crazy because I'm here all week while
Right.
he's out driving around.
Right.
So we went into town. We went to Williams and went to the butcher shop, and I was driving Clifford, the big red truck, and I could just see Frankie's knuckles were like turning white. We stopped at a gas station to get gas, and he said, "I'm driving now." And I said, "What do you mean? Thought you didn't want to drive." He said, "There's going to be a lot of dead tourists if they don't get behind the wheel." Yes, we're renting a big van because we'll have all the kids with us.
So if I understand this correctly, you are offering to take care of Chicago's junior criminal problem by renting a large van and just driving it around the city, wiping out the youth right and left.
Yep, I might bring him.
You
might
might
get
bring it?
both of us,
Sure,
so
you can have.
You need anything fixed?
No, well,
We're waiting to see like how much of it his family usually has. So he's got all these nieces and his sister and his mom. There's usually a list. We'll
so
see.
he comes home for vacation and they make him work. Is that the deal?
Well, they don't make him work. All you have to do with Frankie is mention work, and he just does it.
Aw, so sweet. This is,
Frankie doesn't do roofs.
yeah, I don't blame him.
I don't want him up on any roofs.
I don't want the spousal unit got up on a roof just to look around and see how bad it was, and it flipped me out. And when did he go up? During some kind of record-breaking weather aberration windstorm.
Of course.
Like, well, what is your problem? I mean, do you really hate being married to me that much? And by the way, you might not die. You might just be in a wheelchair and be dependent on me. And you really don't want that.
Yeah, then that would really
You
suck.
do not want that. You should not
I just-
depend on me. Nobody in a
Or he would
wheelchair
just
should
turn
depend on me.
cartoons. Here's a big stack of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I'm turning on cartoons. I'll see you tonight.
It is amazing the things that people do without a slight amount of common sense.
Yes.
I don't. It's nutty.
It's okay. I'm one of them, so it's okay.
Oh,
You know, how many times did I fall off the deck last summer?
well, that's not a common sense issue. That's a klutz issue.
Yeah, true.
It's different. It's not like, what the hell were you doing on your deck? There's no reason why you shouldn't be on your deck.
How about my child who just walked through the house with a laundry basket full of hay? A laundry
Oh,
basket.
that was thoughtful. She should hang around with the spousal unit whose idea of a bouquet is stopping to pick it at the side of the road so that it's sitting in your vase and little inchworms and things start crawling onto your dining table. Little bugs.
I'll keep my hay.
Yeah.
At least there's no bugs in the hay.
How do you know?
But I'm waiting for her to come back in and sweep it up, and I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, have her sit it on the dining table for a while and see if anything crawls out of it.
Yeah, no, nothing's crawling out here, believe me.
I was
I'll
at
stump it.
I was at physical therapy for my broken arm today. This will make sense in a minute. And the guy doing hand exercises across from me, it's really interesting. First of all, people have ideas about what's good for them being good for everybody. And he says, ask her for the sonic something or other. I don't know what it is, like a Doctor Who sonic screwdriver. Ask her for the sonogram or whatever he calls it. It really feels great. The therapist says, that's probably not ideal for someone who's had a broken bone, since it would vibrate it right apart.
No.
Yeah, I'm not going to ask for that. That's another reason I was mentioning the physical therapy thing today. I'm trying to remember what it was. It flew out of my head.
Let's see. We were talking about husbands falling off roofs and insurance, because I was going to ask you, I hope you have a lot of insurance on him when he flies off that roof.
Yeah, I do have insurance for him, but if he's gonna do things like climb on the roof in a windstorm, I may up the amount. Without telling them, because they ask things like this thing when you buy life insurance, which we did when we had kids. They ask you things like, do you engage in parachuting or skydiving? And they never ask, do you have the common sense of a housefly and climb up on the roof to see where it's leaking in the middle of a windstorm? They don't ask that. Maybe they all figure that's normal.
We did have our first housefly yesterday. The first housefly of the season.
Well, you do have a yard full of barn animals.
And a house full of hay.
Yeah, a house full of hay.
But yes, it was the first housefly. I'm like, how do they know to come out? 2 days ago, it was 27 degrees.
Do you want an honest answer to that?
Yeah.
Because the shit that their eggs are in heats up. That's why.
That quickly?
It's just a little pile of shit.
You swore. You said a swear.
It's not excrement, because the excrement that their eggs are in heats up.
Feces.
Feces, the fecal matter in which. Oh, now I remembered why I mentioned the physical therapist. Because the guy across from me, the one who suggested that they vibrate my arm to smithereens, that guy. He mentioned that he had a friend who was a florist who used to fill in the fancy flowers with stuff he would pick from the side of the road, and he called it roadsideage.
Okay, roadkill.
Roadsideage.
Roadkill flowers.
Roadsideage flowers. Yeah. I thought, my husband doesn't fill in any other kind of bouquet. That's just the only kind of bouquet I get is roadsideage.
I don't get anything, so.
That's because you live in the desert. What's he supposed to do? Pick a bunch of cactus thorns and tie them up with a shoelace and say, here, I brought these for you?
He did give me some aloe.
He gave you a goat.
He did too. Couple of them.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but count your blessings. Assuming you've come this far because you enjoy the podcast, may we recommend my book, She Said What? A Life on the Air. It's available at your neighborhood bookstore or on Amazon. And if you're feeling especially generous, please leave the podcast a good review. Thanks.